Okay, everybody, welcome to Analytic in Power BI with R and Python with SQL Server 19, ML Services and Polybase. My name is David Itshak. I'm one of the administrators of Hebrew Data Platform Global Hebrew from Israel. This is my email. So what is the agenda? Because we have only half an hour. We will learn to learn our custom visual in Power BI, Papel chart with ggplot2. We will learn how to insert from Power BI data into table in SQL Server from Power BI. Here is all the demos. You will tell me later, and I will send you the demos, the scripts, and the PowerPoint, no problems. If the time permit, I will show you how we can do data visualization with SQL Server 19. This is me, David Itshak. I have 3 degrees, information system, ME, MBA. I'm a Oracle, SQL Server, Big Data, NoSQL database administrator. I've been lecturing all over the world, including Oracle Open World, Data Saturday. This is all my lecture. The one who missed something can have this lecture in MVP Fusion Friends. This is the date in Germany. Tomorrow in Kuala Lumpur, and now it's Barcelona. This is all my lecture this year. Okay. This is the recommended book which I built the samples. Okay, from Hay Press. You can see them. This is the sample databases. You can download from this link. Okay, so let's start. I will run a little bit fast, but all the demos are very clear and documented, and just after the present you can pass on them and you will understand the material. So why we use our Python in Power BI? We have DAX expression, query language to build our data model. We have Power Query, which can help us to data wrangling, VericApp engine, which is store efficiency reports. We have interactive visualization. It's all fine, but why we use R and Python in Power BI? Because R and Python are very popular today. They come together. They enable us to create custom visualization very, very easy and apply data science to Power BI without the need of using Power BI premium license. We can do also very manipulation, string manipulation, very complicated, very easy, which are not available in DAX, and we'll see this, and more. So how do you configure your environment? I can build on the environment on my computer. You can, of course, use data science virtual machine, but you can now go to your computer and install the software. What is the software? It's SQL Server Management Studio, which includes Azure Data Studio. It's Power BI Desktop, or if you are using Power BI Report Server, you can install Microsoft Power BI Desktop. You should install RStudio Desktop. Yeah. Now RStudio Desktop is for R and for Python, so you can install this for R and Python. This is the link. You can install Microsoft R Open, install R for the latest version for Windows. This is R, this is libraries. You can install Python from these links. You can, of course, use SQL Server, but the better way is to use SQL Server Linux or SQL on Dockers. This is the whole environment. Let's fast forward. So this is the screen of installing SQL Server Management Studio. When you install SQL Server Management Studio, it's also install Azure Data Studio. Okay. Azure Data Studio is, of course, an open platform based tool on premise, and it's this is the screen installation of Power BI Desktop. This is the installation of R library for Windows, very easy. Okay, this is RStudio. Once you install RStudio, okay, you can write the code here. You can see the environment variable here and the result here. You can change your default R here from the tool option. Okay, you can write some code in R in very easy. You can do arithmetic operation like this, 7 minus 9. You can do this, and this is the result. You can use function like date or help log. Okay, you can build object like this one, 8, 8, this is the object 8. If you type 8, you will get the answer. You can put object as log to function, okay? You can use string like here, and once you add a string, you get the output. And the objects are case sensitive. You can use also vector like here. This is a vector temperature, okay? This is called a special vector temperature. You can measure the length of this temperature. You can go to the 4 object in the vector, and you can do function on the vector. This is once you install Power BI Desktop, you should declare your RID. So you are going to our editor in Power BI Desktop, file option setting option, and then an option you are going to detect our own directories. Then you put your the installation of our library here, and then our studio as ID for R. Okay. Our editor in Power BI is very limited. So if you have problem, you get this error message. Okay. So when you open our studio, you should open our studio as administrator, and then you should check which is your R libraries. In this example, you go to our studio and write libpath. You will get this, okay? You get the path of the libraries. You can change them from the menu or manually here, like here. But you can leave the default. How do you install and load our package? If you are connected to internet, it's very easy. Install package and the package name. If you want to install multiple package, C, this is the vector, and inside the vector write the name of the package. Here, data table and dplyr, and then install packages, and here is the vector. Okay. Library, with the command library, you load the package into memory of the R script. So if you want to install our package from RStudio, you should go to Tool, Install Package, install from repository C1, which is our repository, or from File. This is how you can install it from RStudio. Okay, if Power BI tell you that the package is not installed, you should install the package. Here, library typeverse, library scales, library ggtemps are not installed, and you get this error on Power BI Desktop, and then you go to install them. How? Again, this is vector of all the name of the packages into packages, and then install packages package. And here as an input, you put the package. So note, if you want to create visual by our packaging Power BI service, for our visual, which is our script, you can install any package, but for our customer visual for this demo, we'll show it, only public C1 packages. In this link, you will see all the packages which are available for customer visual. In this example, you see the ggplot, which is supported by customer visual, is 3.3.2. Okay, how do you install it? Install package, first you should install a package dev tool, install package dev tool, and then use the dev tool to install the ggplot with the exact version. Install version, ggplot version 3.3.3, and this is the repository. And that's install the exact package ggplot for our visual custom. Okay, we don't talk about Python because we don't have time. Okay, so we don't talk about Python. Here is, I don't pass about it, but you can install SQL Docker on your Windows. Very easy, and thus you can use it with Power BI. Okay, this is the example. You install SQL Server on Windows container. This is the example, but I pass it very fast because I have not too much time. Okay, so now let's start about how to build a customer visual. So we will use ggplot to why ggplot. Okay, this is the most popular R data visualization. It's the most sophisticated, And it's more sophisticated than other library, which is called basic R graphic. It's based on rules which are called the grammar of graphics. What is grammar of graphics? It's simply, you build a layer of graphical object or statistical transformation, you position them in the graph, and then you set the data and the map variable to this graphs and the coordinate system. We'll see example, it will be more clear. So what is the step to build our custom visual in Power BI? We first configure our Power BI environment. We see it. We see that we install the R Studio and the R libraries, and we change the default RID in Power BI Desktop. We install the required packages. We go to Power BI and tell him to get the data and load the data into Power BI. Then, after we get the data, we create a filter slicer in this example based on the year. Okay. Then we drag our custom visual icon to Power BI when we start our initial configuration. We export all this to our studio and we develop our script. We load our required packages and data sources and we develop our code. When we finish, we go back to Power BI and we add the code we have developed. We should use the following guidelines. Okay, so what's the first demo? The first demo is to build bubble chart demo. What is bubble chart demo? It's a scattered plot, but which have additional attribute or dimensions. Okay, how we do it? We add layer for the point or for the factor variables. Okay, in this demo, we will use a fake basketball leagues with the following dimension. X is the height, Y is the weight of each player. Okay, this is 2 dimension. The fill inside the bubble, okay, it's the region. Okay, the color around the bubble is the league. So here, fake league here. The size of the bubble, okay, is the number of baskets of the user. The label here is the name. So we have 3 continuous variables, which is, age, weight, and baskets, and 3 discrete variables, region, league, and name. Okay. So in one graph, we have 6 dimensions. This is the data. Okay, the data is player basket CSV. This is the CSV file. Here's how it looks. ID, first name, last name, weight, age, basket, region, league. Okay. First, we load the data into Power BI. File get text CSV player basket CSV. Okay. Then we arrange the data as follows. ID, first name, last name, etc., etc. It's one number, text, one number, text, text, text. This is how we use it. And we don't summarize each field. Then we drag a filter slicer on the year, okay, and drag to the canvas and select the year field and drag into the slicer, okay. Now we drag the R visual to our report canvas, and then after we drag it, it will show this. Do we want to enable script visual? We should enable, and then we drag all these fields. After we drag all the fields, automatically Power BI will create DataFrame. DataFrame, it's like a table. Dataset, which is named dataset, with all the fields. See, year, first name, last year, here. Power BI must ensure that all the fields in the dataset should be unique. So this is the code is created. Okay. Now we go to data. So the dataset is in Power BI. DataFrame is like a table. It has 2 dimensions. Okay. It's columns and data. So it must be unique. How does Power BI show that all the data set is unique? Within function, unique here. This is the code generated by our script in Power BI. Now, the trick is to go to here, and then it will open, our ID, which is our studio. Okay. and it's open this code. I found that it's not very convenient to go back and forth, so what I do next is take the code which was generated and to save it, a script which is called R custom visual PBI bubble chart ggplot. And we'll start develop. Okay. So the first line is as follows. setDW mean go to this directory, and from this directory load the feeds from player basket.csv. Okay, load the fields. This dataset. Dataset is a DataFrame which Power BI uses. Okay, this is the code that was generated by Power BI. Okay, note that I should open RStudio as administrator. Okay, yeah. Now, so this is the first code. Okay. Now I should load the libraries. So I want to use the following libraries: deep layers and ggplot. How do you do it? The easiest way is to load the library tides-verse. Okay. Then I need also the following libraries: ggterms and ggRipple and ggterms. Okay, we'll see the use of them. Okay, so after I load, okay, I should sort the columns of the dataset by names. This is a function to sort the columns by names. Okay, and then I will create manually all the columns that Power BI needs. Okay, this is a vector, all the name of the required column, Power BI columns. Okay, this is mean create a character vector, basket first name 8, ID last. Okay, and the next steps is to compare between this vector and this vector and to ensure that they are equals. That means that the columns name are equals. Okay, then I go to the year. This means go to dataset year and bring all the years. Okay, and bring all the, and to slicer year, you'll bring all the unique year to slicer year. Okay, and this is very, very important. We'll start the visual only if we have only 1 year. Okay, it means length of slicer is 1, and column compares is true. It means that the columns in the text file and the required column are equal. Okay. If length slicer is 1 and column compare, let's start the visual. So this is our visual data. This is our visual data. This is the dataset mean. This is the dataset which was created by Power BI. Put it in our visual data. Mutate mean create another column. The other column will be a concatenation of the first name, the first character of the first name and the last name. Okay, this means add another column which is name. Okay, now we should choose our color. How we choose our color? We create a vector which is region color, character color, and have the following: Asia and Africa. Why? Because in region we have, in this demo we have Asia and Africa. We're going to this site and then we can create our color in this site. This is the link. And for Asia, this will be the color. For Africa, this will be the color. For America, this will be the color. This is for Europe. For legal color, we create another color because we have 2 fake leagues, AB and BA, and create this color. Then we'll create our chart dynamically. Okay, how do you do? Chart title, paste, again, it's concatenation, R custom visual ggplot 4, and here we put the slice set here. Okay, the separator is this. Okay, now let's create our dimension. How do we create dimension? Very easy. AES, this is the function. X is the weight, Y is the 8, size is the basket. Okay, size of the basket is the basket. You remember, if the basket is big, we have a lot of baskets. The inside, the color around the scatter plot is the league, and the field is the region. Okay, and this is the and and then this means that we can change the color of the bubble using the predefined color with the vector we have declared. Okay, scale color manual. This means that we can change the fill of the bubble using the vector we have declared. Okay, but the only geometric point shape we can use is shape 21. This is the only one with support to change the fill and the color around this, the border of the shape. So geometric point is shape 21. Okay. Then we said that we want to, here are the points. Then we said that we want to put the text with 5 bars. This function means create the text, but do not disturb the point with the text. Okay, so there will not overlapping. Okay, and now this means that GG-title present the chart title. Okay, if the condition that the year was not unique is not, if this condition are not true, then it will show us empty plot. Okay, so this is the template to create structure R visual in Power BI. If check data, this is the R code of visual data. Else plot new mean show an empty graph. And this is here is the result. You can see the result also here. Okay, this is the result of the chart. Okay. This is the final result. The code in R is very easy.
See your screen.
Sorry?
We cannot see your screen right now. It's gone.
Okay, give you control again. Because I changed to Power BI, therefore. I give you control, I know. Share context. Okay. I know why, because I got out of power to show you the okay. Okay, this is the result. Okay, let's I have more time, so I'll show you how to insert data in SQL Server from Power BI. Assuming that we have installed SQL Server and SQL Server, we want to log monitor the amount of data being loaded to data mart. But Power BI do not enable us to write to SQL Server. How do you do it? Very simple. You create a DSN ODBC to SQL Server. Okay. In this sense, it can be SQL Docker or SQL Server. Okay. How do you do it? You go here, System DSN. Okay. You create a DSN, the user, the password, the name of the SQL Server. Here it's not because on a computer, and then you test that it's okay. Now you go to SQL Server, open SQL Server Management Studio, and create a table. Notice the syntax, drop table if exists. Okay, and then you create this table, which is ETL log, because it's the amount of the data we have loaded into our data warehouse. Load date, date time, default get date. Okay, table name varchar 25, number of records. Okay, now you how do you do it? You create the R code, you copy it to Power BI via get data. So this is the code we will develop. After we develop it, we have two frames, DF read and record insert. We will name to DF read to DIM account in the properties section, and we will do close and apply. So first, let's show what this code does. Okay, very simple. This is the libraries we should load. If they are not installed, we should install them. Library tidyverse, library RODBC. Okay, this is the ODBC. Library lab reagate. Okay, and then we create a var which hold the table name. It can be any table. In this example, dim account, okay, from adventure or DW. SQL, this is the SQL query. We created with concatenation, select star from DBO dot table name. This is the table name, we can change it. This is the query. Con, this is the syntax, con, ODBC connect DSN, this is the DSN we've created before in ODBC. UID, this is the user essay. It's not a command to work with essay, but only for the example, and this is the password, okay? Read DataFrame, which means go to use this query, use this channel connection, and then put all the data in read in this data frame. What is data frame? Again, it's like a table, okay? Know that if you have a very big, large table, for example, dim account, which have millions of rows, this will fail with this error message. Why? Because native R works in memory, and if you blow the memory, it will fail. So you should know that the table should be with number of rows that R can read, okay? Now, this is the field, current date. Now, this is the date of the reading, the number of rows. Number of records mean n row of read df, mean that we have done select count from the account. This function, it's like select count from the table we have read and put it here. Now we create list, which is very we convert all the data to list because it's very convenient. Yeah.
Sorry to bother you. It's been more than half an hour. Do you think you can achieve in a few minutes?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
It's very fast. We convert it to list. Okay, with this structure, the date, the table name, number for records, and then we create it to DataFrame to these records, and then write it to the table as follow: SQL save channel. This is the connection. This is the structure we have created. Table name ETO log. This is the table which is the number of records. Append means append to the table. Row name false means do not create a table, and close the connection. So now, if you go to Power BI, you see that you have read data from which is all the rows in the tables, and this is the table. Record insert will have only the number of record we have read in this moment, and this is the way. How we can read the number of records in Power BI and insert the number of records in Power BI into a table. Okay. So again, if you want, I will send you the demo. The demo is here. You see, the demo is here. If you can.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a question for you from Henrik. When you are showing the scatter plot with R, is it possible to create such as visual, but using the integrated scatter plot inside Power BI?
I didn't try it. I must admit. What I did is to go out of Power BI, develop it, and then again bring it back. It's more easy. But you can try it. Using this guide, you can try it. Okay?
Okay, I don't know, Henrik, does it answer your question? I'm not sure I have understood well the answer.
Well, the question was towards trying to understand why go to such a hassle installing so many libraries and going back and forth from SQL to Power BI, then just to get a visual that could be achieved using an integrated feature from Power BI.
Okay, yeah, there is several reasons, because with R and Python you can do manipulation which you cannot do in Power BI. You see, like I didn't show you, but you can do masking of data, you can scrubbing of data, you can use a function, you can use library of ggplot, which can create graph which is not supported by Power BI. Okay, So you can do a lot of manipulation, which you're gonna do in Power BI. And the second issue is that if you are on premise and you are using Power BI report server, and if you ever don't license Power BI Premium, you can do all the manipulation using R and Python without paying extra money to this. But the bottom line is that ggplot and Python are so strong, which is language which is strong, which is developed, that you have science libraries and graph libraries. There are, as you can see, there are things that are not supported in Power BI. And this is where you as developer can be more sophisticated than using the visual and wrangling. Okay?
I see, thank you.
Any more questions? Hello?
Sorry, I was talking but alone because I was muted. I was saying that I don't see any more questions in the chat. But yeah, maybe we can wait a few more seconds to see if
there will be more questions. There's no time, but I didn't show you, but I will show you in Germany how to build a data lake from Polybase of SQL Server. You can from SQL1 SQL Query to query MongoDB, Redis, Oracle, okay, Hadoop in simple transact SQL and bring it to Power BI, okay. I'm sure that nobody did something like this but it's very simple with SQL Server 19 data virtualization. But the technical is with transact SQL. So this is the. So I leave it for Germany next week because we don't have time. But this is the example for how do you connect all those data sources and build. You see, you will hear data lake when you don't have to be so sophisticated. Only and here you can see how you can query MongoDB with query everything with transact SQL. And it's very strong. See, this is the final result here.
In another event in Barcelona, you will be welcome if you want to present the rest. Anyway, thank you very much. It was very nice. Thank you for your time. And